For Denmark, the year 2023 ended with a royal surprise, a regal curveball, and that twist we did not see coming. And no, it wasn't Britney Spears' Instagram knife dance, although that was pretty weird. It was the abdication of Her Majesty, the Queen Margrethe II. All of Denmark was stunned. We all settled in to watch her annual New Year's Eve address to the nation, the same procedure as every year, until all around the country our jaws hit the floor. At first, Her Majesty's speech hit all of the normal notes. Many of us were checking off bingo cards, some people placed bets, or played drinking games as she mentioned things like Greenland, war, climate change, and of course, the children of Denmark. But we were in disbelief when she announced that she will step down as the Danish monarch on January 14th of 2024. No matter what you think of the concept of monarchy, the overwhelming majority of the Danish people hold a very positive opinion of their queen, and were emotionally moved to hear the news of her abdication. At the party that I attended, 2 people actually called their mothers just to check in on them after hearing the speech. Almost every toast and cheers at our dinner that night was to Daisy, and a few tears were shed to commemorate her 52-year reign. I'm sure that this scene was familiar in many Danish homes on New Year's Eve. However, a lot of other things will look completely different all over Denmark in the coming year of 2024. So as we recover from this unexpected New Year's abdication, we decided to put together this video so that all of us are prepared for the expected changes that will continue to occur in King Frederik X's Denmark for 2024. That's going to take a little bit of getting used to. Let's start with the fun stuff, property taxes. Effective on January 1st, Denmark implemented new property tax rules affecting homeowners and especially first-time buyers. The changes were part of a 2017 bill and are set to decrease property value tax rates and land value tax rates in most Danish municipalities. Now, you don't need me to tell you that property values have been a roller coaster for most of the last 2 decades, and not just in Denmark. Property taxation is based on those values, and they've figured out through public real estate appraisals the value of all homes. And recent appraisals show rising house prices. So the 2017 political agreement is meant to offset that higher taxes by offering a reduction in property taxes beginning this year. Existing homeowners won't experience higher taxes than the current rates that they held in 2022 and 2023. However, first-time buyers in 2024 are not receiving those nice tax subsidies. A quick recap. Prices go up, taxes go up. Government help taxes go down. But not for you, Gretchen Wieners. I mean, first-time homebuyers in 2024. Now, the Housing Ministry stated that buyers should plan their finances in accordance with the new tax rules, which they did do by squeezing in a purchase at the end of 2023. It's week 2 and there's already a decrease in the number of homes that are on the market, and analysts predict that this could upend the entire housing market. It's especially volatile for apartments in the urban areas of Denmark, which could face a 5 to 10% price drop. So hey, your property taxes aren't going to go up, but your home's value is going to go down thanks to whoever was in government in 2017. So to cheer you up, I'll now pronounce the Danish words for property value tax rates and land value tax rates. Ejendomsværdiskatteste og grundskyld. Local flow for everyone. Maybe this makes you want to leave your home and run away. And if you're doing it by train, I have more bad news. DSB, who's responsible for operating the majority of Denmark's passenger train service, hiked their fares for 2024. The largest increases are up 13% and are for travel over Denmark's Storebælt, which is an engineering marvel and makes for a captivating view, but there's no promise it will be 13% better than last year. There is some good news though. For 2024, we'll usher in increased subsidies for commuters in rural areas. Additional subsidies have been allocated to lower fares on ferries that connect Denmark's smaller outlying islands. Oh, and the Reisekort. This is the card that's used for electronic ticketing on public transportation in Denmark. It's transitioning away in 2024. As of today, 3.3 million people are using a Reisekort to get around. It offers cheaper fares than buying a single ticket, and there has been some criticism for not having an app solution. Even though a prepaid plastic card is still modern for some parts of the world, Denmark prides itself on digitalization and app-based solutions. There's a lot of apps in Denmark. The regional transportation services already have apps with built-in ticketing, so this makes sense, and the idea is well received by most users. The Reisekort app will also eliminate the need to check in a second time when you transfer from one form of transit to another. Let's say you go from light rail to a bus. You won't have to do that transfer. It also gives you reminders to check out, and there are some additional features that will make getting around in 2024 better than it was in 2023. So over the next year, we can expect people to slowly transition to the RiseAccord app with solutions in place for those that don't have a smartphone, so that nobody's left at the station. Sorry, I just had to do that. I don't have kids, but I do have a lot of dad jokes. Oh, and as we continue, please let me know in the comments any topics that you would like to see us expand into a full video, and also at the end, note any additional changes that I may have left out, because a lot will change in 2024, and you can help us all to know more about the things that are coming our way. Now, moving on to the 2024 budget. Denmark's budget for this year will also have some changes, and it's been described as very ambitious. While it's received vast support in Parliament, it's also received some critiques, even from the parties that supported it, for having very lofty goals. Among them is a $1 billion investment that is earmarked for spending on climate issues in 2024, and an additional 100 million kroner for green conversions in the heavy transport sector. Another 3.2 billion kroner has been budgeted for psychiatric care in the health system from 2024 through 2030. This includes a new 24-hour phone service that will act as a mental health and psychiatric emergency line. There will also be an increase in military and defense spending, as well as foreign service spending in the 2024 budget. More good news for people that like bad news. 2024 will also be the first year since 1685 without Store Bededag, or Great Prayer Day as I prefer to pronounce it, and you probably prefer too. The spring holiday was enacted by King Christian V in 1686 to combine a bunch of minor Catholic and Protestant holidays into one day of observation. Basically, he was like, oh, the bakers are off because they're observing the feast of the patron saint of yeast? Weren't they just off last week for that? Oh, that was the Protestant bakers who celebrated the patron saint of flour? Let's just scrap all those minor holidays and we'll all take off one day and just pray on that same day in May. It was this Danish efficiency that gave us this wonderful holiday that lasted centuries but could not outlast middag. This reduction to the Danish public holiday calendar was meant to be a cost-saving measure to offset the increase in military spending. So now we will work one extra day in May, but come July, there are also some other rules that go into effect regarding our working hours in Denmark. In order to comply with EU court rulings, a new regulation on recording our working hours should roll out in Q3. That's fancy corporate speak for July 1st. This clocking in and recording your hours thing seems perfect to implement in the month of July, when most Danes are clocking in from their summer house or taking a gap month in Southern Europe. Either way, it's still being flushed out and was already postponed from a target date of January 1st to now rolling out on July 1st. There are said to be ways of making it even easier, or for you to be able to opt out of recording your hours altogether, so I'm going to put this in the wait and see column for now. We'll wait and see what happens. Other workplace updates include a more flexible term for work permits and additional jobs that are making their way onto the positive list. Now, if you're not a foreigner in Denmark like me, you probably don't know a lot about the positive list, but it's basically a group of job types that are in demand for the Danish economy to grow, and it provides a pathway for immigrating to Denmark on a work visa. I'll post links with more information on these things in the video description, as well as other sources and additional information on all the topics that have been covered so far and that we've yet to cover. This includes one topic that our friend Annie discussed in a recent TikTok and Instagram reel. That's a proposed expansion of IVF treatment coverage for those that are seeking a second child in Denmark. States Minister Mette Frederiksen announced this proposal in her New Year's Day address, and it's expected to move through the government in 2024. The proposal would increase the number of covered IVF treatments for first-time parents and cover second children as well. Critics point to the already long wait times for the fertility treatments and strain on the medical profession, especially on specialists. But I would say that overall, this is a good thing for families in Denmark. I will do my part by increasing the amount of dad jokes that I tell in 2024, and I'll link to Annie's video in the description. Speaking of New Year's Day, in the coming year, it may be one of only 2 days where we're allowed to light off fireworks in Denmark. A proposal to restrict firework use in Denmark to just the 31st of December and the 1st of January has already been proposed, and Denmark has a long history of fireworks, especially as part of the New Year's tradition, which goes back centuries. There are many historical and cultural reasons for the Danish people's love of fireworks, but to fully understand it, you'll have to click here and watch this video next. Thanks for watching today, and no matter what changes, have a wonderful 2024 in Denmark or wherever you're watching from. Hej hej.